In situations of police intimidation, some individuals demonstrate exceptional insight by thoroughly knowing their legal rights and standing firm in their stance. These individuals, more cunning than the police officers themselves, are capable of avoiding incrimination, even in challenging circumstances. By understanding the laws and knowing how to protect themselves, they manage to emerge unscathed from compromising situations, securing their release without major legal consequences. These are the scenarios in our videos today. A youth who is harshly interrogated just for being an addict, a young man studying law, and a teenager on the road all ominously escaped the oppression and lack of legal knowledge of the police officers. What happens when you're not just handcuffed, but also being interrogated? Is it possible to get out of this situation? Well, this cunning heroin addict proved that it definitely is possible. The police in Georgia arrested a heroin addict named Jeff on charges of armed robbery. Jeff, who is familiar with jail and the legal system, immediately asks if he is under arrest as soon as the officer enters the room.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? You let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff.
After his rights are read to him, he remains calm and silent, seemingly contemplating his next move, which makes the officers impatient. When questioned again, he demonstrates his knowledge of police tactics and gives the officer a completely unexpected response.
Did you understand the rights I read to you?
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
Jeff requests methadone, stating that he is an addict and will soon start to suffer withdrawal. He explains that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, showing reluctance to speak with the police because, according to him, all they want is a confession. Jeff appears more agitated and asserts that he was at a friend's house when he was suddenly surrounded by the police and arrested, emphasizing that they had no evidence against him.
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
Yeah, you guys can give me that methadone. I'm in a wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no harm, right?
Jeff insists that there is no evidence against him, pointing out that having been arrested for the same crime before, he knows that if they had evidence, they wouldn't be interrogating him so much. Jeff demands to have a lawyer, but his requests go unheard.
I will tell you right now, you're still on a hold for a robbery.
I know. I don't know why. I need a lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing. And obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same before and you guys don't interview me this much. So wham bam, thank you for the coke, put me back in the cell.
He is taken back to the interrogation room after 5 hours, where his handcuffs are removed after enjoying another Coca-Cola. He appears nervous, constantly moving his hands and body, but it's actually the withdrawal symptoms that are starting to intensify.
I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
The officer changes tactics by stating that they have enough evidence to arrest him, but Jeff doesn't believe it. He challenges the officer to name any kind of evidence, but predictably, the officer cannot provide any. Jeff stops responding, knowing that as long as he doesn't incriminate himself, he will soon be free.
I know you don't want to go back to jail, right? Back to prison.
Well, it looks like I am if and you're going to charge me with some bogus You guys don't, I mean, what do you got really? That I was at a buddy's house and I happened to come outside because you guys were swarming the area and they...
Which door did you come out of?
I came out of the front door. You know what? I'm not saying myself.
After another exchange with the officer, Jeff is released 12 hours later, considering his resistance a small victory.
I'm done, man. This. The only reason I came up here is to get a coke.
Okay. You're not getting out.
Oh no, I can't finish it.
You can finish it. Make it quick. I got things to do.
Butterfinger, you promise.
I didn't promise you that. I said we'd see what happens. All right. Like I said, you haven't helped me out at all. Why should I help you out? I got you sorted. That's good.
The case we present now occurred on September 14th, 2023. An officer from New Mexico entered a student residence after receiving a report about an underage student in possession of alcohol. Initially, it seemed to be a routine intervention, but upon interacting with the suspicious student, the officer soon realized that locating the alcohol would not be so simple, as Joel Martinez was a law student and was well aware of his rights.
We got a report that you were seen walking into your dorm with alcohol. So
Okay.
is there alcohol in there?
I don't answer questions.
You have an ID with you.
I do.
Okay, can I see it?
You suspect me of a crime?
I do.
Okay, what crime and how can you articulate it?
Minor in possession of alcohol. We got a report that you were walked in.
So it's like here that they said thing?
Okay.
It's yeah, right? It's like they said that he has. And that's how you're gonna articulate it.
The officer immediately requested the student's identification. However, Joel refused to provide it, aware that he must first be considered a suspect of a crime. Additionally, the student informed the officer that the New Mexico police did not enjoy qualified immunity and warned him to proceed with caution, as the Fourth Amendment prevented officers from searching a citizen's property.
So I still need to ID you,
No.
and then we need to go from there.
You have to suspect me of a crime.
I do.
You realize that cops in New Mexico don't have qualified immunity, right?
I do that. I do.
Okay, so from here on, let's just be careful with what you're about to do right now. You're saying that you want my ID, but right now you or yourself can articulate a crime that I've committed.
Okay.
So
So I already explained to you why I'm here. Why I
okay,
need your ID.
I know what you're here, but okay, is my ID gonna tell you if there's alcohol in that room?
No, but I still need to identify you.
My name is Joel.
Joel what?
Joel.
I need your first, last name, and your date of birth.
No, you don't.
Joel stood his ground and requested the presence of a supervisor. However, after making this request, the situation became even more complicated. When the sergeant arrived, the student insisted that the officers were requesting his identification, even demanding it, which was not legally supported according to the laws of the state of New Mexico. Withholding identity constituted a secondary charge, so he argued that he was not obligated to identify himself unless they intended to verify his identity in the system. Although Joel was completely correct, he was clearly starting to annoy the police.
I need you to tell me if you don't give me your ID right now, I'm gonna arrest you.
Why would I say that to you?
Because I need that ultimatum, because right now you're asking.
Yes.
And I have the right to say no, because you're asking. It's not a lawful order. I need you to make it a lawful order.
You're being detained for suspicion of minor in possession of alcohol. Mm-hmm. We need to see your ID.
Okay, and if not?
And if not, you could be considered
Could?
concealing identity.
You don't need my last name and you do not need my date of birth unless you want to run my name through your system. Are you trying to run my name through the
Do you have
system?
warrants for your arrest? Is
I
there
don't
anything
answer
you would be
questions.
concerned?
I don't answer questions. I'm asking
answer
questions.
questions.
I don't. It's my Fifth Amendment. Is it or is it not?
At this point, Joel invoked his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and made the right decision not to allow them access to his room to avoid self-incrimination. By making the officer declare it as a mandatory search, he strengthened his position in case of legal action. The officer nervously chuckled upon realizing that this was a battle he could not win.
Yeah, somebody saw you carry a case of beer. You have a case of beer in your possession?
I don't answer questions.
So the next step in this process would be, would you give us consent to check your room?
Nope.
To make sure that
Nope.
you have no alcohol in your possession?
Nope. I do not consent to any searches nor seizures.
Okay, very good. You're certainly welcome to refuse if you wish.
I know.
But we need to ID you.
Or
And if you do not present your identification, you can face a non-traffic
Could.
citation.
you're saying could. I need you to
Because
say
I'm
you
giving
will.
I'm giving you the opportunity to.
No, I need that ultimatum.
cooperative
I will
with
give
us.
you my ID if you say that I'm going to go get arrested if I don't give it to you.
So you'll give us if we say that.
If you say that, yes, sir. Because that's already grounds for me to set up litigation against you.
So you're threatening to sue us.
I ain't threatening nothing, brother.
That's what you just said.
It's not a
It
threat.
gives you grounds to.
It's not a threat. It gives me grounds. Does it or does it not?
Surprisingly, the officer tried to look up New Mexico laws to refute Joel, but once again found himself at a dead end, appearing ill-informed by not only being unaware of the law, but also being mistaken. After resorting to an internet browser, they finally demanded that Joel show his identification or be arrested. While it seemed strange, this was the situation Joel had been seeking, as it put him in the best possible position in case he needed to take legal action against the officers.
Are you Googling the laws right now? Because that's really what you should be doing right now.
You okay with that?
Yeah, continue reading.
Are you sure you're okay with that?
Yeah.
If you wish to deny us access to that room, that is totally within your rights.
I know.
But you refusing to identify yourself to us by name and date of birth, full name, date of birth, that is concealing identity.
Okay, so just tell me that if I don't give you the ID, you're gonna arrest me. Just say it.
Show us your ID. We need to see your ID. Or you will be arrested.
Thank you. You got that right? Yeah. Yeah, you got that. Pigs, fool, for real.
Failing to obtain more information from Joel, the officers ultimately decided to leave, while in the background, Joel and his roommates could be heard celebrating that he had stood his ground and not wavered in front of the officers. If he did indeed have that beer in his room, he had definitely earned it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Joel.
Yeah, go
We're done.
Yourselves.
Okay, have a good. You guys can go to your room. Thank you.
Have a good day. 2023 7816.
It is not necessary to be a legal scholar to defend your rights, as the young man below will demonstrate. On May 28, 2022, a police officer from New Jersey pulled over his car on the side of the road to confront a young man who allegedly made an obscene gesture with his finger. As soon as the officer stepped out of his car, he began to slowly pursue the young man, claiming that being the target of such a gesture was reason enough to stop him. However, the officer was unaware that he would soon be detailedly shown just how wrong he was.
What? Why you giving me the finger?
I'm walking away.
Huh?
Am I free to go?
Why you giving me the finger?
Am I free to go?
No. Come here.
For what reason?
Why you giving me the finger? What's your problem?
Am I free to go?
No.
What, do you have a problem?
No.
Do you have a problem?
No.
You don't have a problem, then I can leave.
Why you giving me the finger when you're walking? Huh? Come here.
Laws argue that showing the middle finger to an officer is not a crime, and it falls under the First Amendment, and therefore is considered freedom of expression. Despite this legal precedent existing, the officer ignores it and starts to aggressively pursue the young man. He catches up to him and tries to arrest him, while the teenager screams for help.
Have a good one.
Okay. Whatever. What?
You heard me.
Come here.
I'm afraid of you.
Come here. Get over here.
What?
Get over here.
I'm not doing anything illegal.
Yeah, you are. You just cursed me off.
That's not a crime.
Yes, it is.
Says who?
Says me.
Says who?
Turn around. Come on.
Bro, that is not a crime.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Why you cursing me?
It's not a crime.
What's your name?
It's not a crime.
What's your name?
Help! Help!
No help.
Help! Help!
Then, the officer blatantly breaks the law by turning off his body camera for an unknown period until another officer joins them. The young man interrogates the new officer, asking why they are detaining him if what he did is not a crime, and demands an explanation. Over the next few minutes, the officers continue to argue with him, trying to convince him that he can be detained, but he remains unfazed. Faced with his arguments, they realize that what he did is not grounds for arrest, and the officer who handcuffed him removes the restraints.
What am I doing that made him detain me? What legal right?
Every time I rode by him twice, he shot me the finger. So I turned around and said, "What you?"
Is that a crime?
Problem. Well, then he tells me this is causing public disturbance. Then he
That's
tells
not,
me to.
no, that's not a crime.
F off, pig.
Yeah, off, big. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. He's looking at you because he's like, what the do you want me to do? Because it's not a crime. I know my rights.
Who are you?
I don't have to say any of that.
You do if you're being detained.
For what reason? What legal reason am I being detained for?
Where are you coming from and where are you?
What legal reason am I being detained for? I need to know that. Legally, I need to know that. What reason does he need to detain me?
He thought maybe he thought you were signaling him down. Were you signaling to him?
No, you knew very well that I wasn't signaling to you, right? I wasn't signaling.
Well, you bring attention to yourself.
That's not signaling.
Your action's strange. I'm making sure you're okay.
Instead, the young man scolds the officers, emphasizing how they are supposedly there to protect him rather than make him feel incriminated, and gives them a lesson in ethics. The discussion continues, and after a couple of jokes, the young man once again confronts the officers for not knowing the law and his rights. The officers ask for the teenager's identification and continue to assert that he caused a disturbance without stopping to consider their own actions. In the midst of the discussion, the boy, demonstrating that he knows his rights, shows them his ID.
He gives you a lawful order to stop, and you do not stop.
It wasn't a lawful order, though.
And you do not stop.
It legally was not a lawful order.
If you do not stop, then that becomes a criminal offense, and then, yes, you can be put under
But
arrest.
it's not a lawful order. Then I take it to court, and then he'd get sued, and I get punitive damages. I'd be rich. Is that what you want?
You don't know the law. That may be what happens.
You don't know the law.
But that's gonna happen.
I said I'll give you my ID, buddy. He's such a pig, bro.
So what does that make you?
Not a pig. Dude, this is illegal.
The officers are unaware that they have caused much more inconvenience to the parties than the simple hand gesture the young man made. When the teenager sees that they are wearing body cameras, he is pleased to realize that he has recordings of the interaction in case he needs them. As a final touch of defiance, he insults them, once again demonstrating how powerful freedom of expression truly is. Now the officers cannot detain him, and he is free to leave.
You'll legally have to prove that I was a nuisance to the public.
Standing,
how will you do that? How will you do that? I just want to
camera systems. Okay, so when he goes by in the car, okay, and he sees you doing what you're doing,
and what was I doing?
Be there.
And what part of that caused a disturbance? That's what I'm trying to legally understand. I don't understand. Is that a body camera?
That's what it is.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Stay out of the roadway. Am I free to go?
Give us fingers.
Shut the up.
Stay out of the roadway. Stop causing a public alarm.
Dude, shut the up. Am I free to go?
You're free to go.
Stop cursing. Go.
You're free to go.